Welcome back, guys, to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where last episode, after yet again showing that the Skulking brothers were not telling the whole truth, we brought out testimony about their encounter with the victim, with the store owner having confronted the thieves in the storefront, leading to an altercation, one of the Skulkings having pulled a gun on Mr. Windybank, causing him to flee to the storeroom, as Ryunosuke figured that this must have been the moment he was shot, barely failing to make it to safety. However, there is a stumbling point in our hypothesis, as Prosecutor Van Zieks has asked us to count the bullets at the scene. Two bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulking brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness. I think you'll find that if the single bullet would have been fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Windybank, not shot by same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Ugh. Ah! Order! 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 Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zieks! But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc! I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilda's down the yard, thank you very much. No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is! Mine! I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilda, it has to be taken as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilda's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no deaths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence counsel. As a grim testament to the defendant's character? Who said that? Lord Van Zieks, Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector? We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think it was agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zieks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But, those were the instructions right from the top! The government bigwigs were insistent! Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed. Bailiff? The music box disc has been entered into the court record. I need to spray that thing. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo. My lord, I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer's bloody obvious to me, my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability. Guilty.
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 Oh, he on the unlike criminals. Obviously not women criminals. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Ah, how dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. What, that wasn't the correct line? Because, of course, legally distinct. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winnebank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? I like how the judge just knows we're going to call for one now. The Guardian Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. Not just guilty, it's guilty. The jurors' contentions, yet again. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There's nothing I do not know about guns. Okay, thank you. It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. Yes, because he's ballistics expert. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. Whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris, that prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Here we go again. Defense's rebuttal. What's a rogue, always a rogue, I say? Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
Hold it!
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Ah, well... Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. I need to spray it. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. Still don't know what tune it plays though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Forgive me. Sorry, I'm laughing here because it's so horrendously like massive how much the game hints. Having her holding the gun there like, quick, spray it. McGilda's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Oh, the game's like, do this, do it now. Like, hold on, juror number 2. The game's telling me to do things. I need to do it. The blood. Oh, Runo, look! This is blood. Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. It's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. All right, hold still with that disc, Runo. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. Alright, I'll leave that for now. I don't think there's anything necessarily more for that. But look at what has just been opened up to us. So what we're saying here is that the person this was possibly shot into is definitely not Sholmes. Egert Benedict, or whatever his name is. Now, how do I actually get that across to anyone during this whole thing? As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table setting. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Oh no, is it? I've kind of missed my chance now, haven't I? Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right, I was just skipping forward. I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. Have I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office? Well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. Third bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? Wait, do we actually need a third bullet before we can actually present? Which means there might be a third bullet from information further along, which I'm very interested in who I might find it out from. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. So if I've understood correctly, you need two pictures, a left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly, then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this? So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulking brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. Now he's the one I'm interested in. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on...
What was the fellow's name now? Herr Lich? No, Herr Losch. No, Herr Lock?
Herlock Sholmes, by any chance?
Yes, good lord! It was that Hairlock fellow!
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy!
Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct, as it's clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulking brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door.
I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally.
Ha! Who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards, which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? There we go.
Well, I think I'll move down the line a little bit first with some more pressing, but we've got to pit juror number 4 and juror number 6 together. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
Hold it!
What do you mean, you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say, stop. Do excuse me, stop. I am a communications officer, stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop. Worldwide communication network, stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of globe, stop. Yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the likes before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating for information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Hold it!
I thought you were just a tourist. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take the bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert. Who knew? I have much experience with guns. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of, extremely violent bloodbaths, perhaps. Those! Extreme violent bloodbaths. That's very bad. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There's nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in Russian language. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van Zieks has managed to convince everyone. When you have eliminated the impossible, he said, but he hasn't. If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. We need to be illuminated by our Russian friend here. Help me with the mystery of where this bullet ended up, sir.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh, a ballistics expert! Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulking brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Vilen. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly! The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and they fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wounds that look just like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me, and that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all! Huh? The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital as far as I remember. If I may,
Lord Van Zieks.
while I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom.
Sorry?
As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that! One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin Brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury!
This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop.
A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remained unaltered.
Well, at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much. Glad I could help.
Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence.
Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy. Sholmes' pouch has been entered into the court record. Is there any, blood stain around it? The pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around his waist at the time of the shooting. One of the glass vials is smashed, and there are scorch marks all around it.
And now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion,
Please, my lord. A little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around. Somehow. I'm sure of it. Well, to our court record, I say. We need to find any more information than we can do. So let's have a look at things. So it blew out this way. No, it hit there. And this penetrated here. And the bullet's literally here. Oh look, there's a hole here at the back. It doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? No, let me open this up. It's behind there. Let me in. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look. This must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. Hello. Sleeping Beauty. What the? Iris, look! behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Ah, that's the Skulking Brothers bullet. What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windibanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. The 3rd bullet, a projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch, caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. We've got it. Oh, baby, we've got it. The file has been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion. A big explosion? Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for the investigation work he does, but they're also quite tricky to handle, safely at least. They're very dangerous. Oh, I'm sure that when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in future. The left is the danger zone. It is indeed, but without this danger zone, it wouldn't have stored. So this is a very well-built leather pouch and all. For the entire storing / deflection, it does seem to have a bigger back than... I'm guessing this back is like slightly metallic / very thick leather. On the basis that yes, it might have tore through here, but it actually looks quite a thick, well-built thing. So with a 3rd bullet now in our possession, do I examine that too? Or do I go straight to juror number 2 and say that, hey, we've got a 3rd bullet? But we'll say that next time on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where we hope to turn around the summation examination and continue the trial with a rather helpful Baron Van Zieks helping us. I'll see you guys then for more. Bye-bye.